UFC light heavyweight prospect, Modestas Bukauskas. Thank you so much, man, for the time today. You're heading into your second appearance in the UFC octagon. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling really good, thank you. Thanks again, obviously, for having me on again. Preparation's gone really well. I haven't had any stupid niggling injuries coming into the fight this time. So, everything's firing on all cylinders. I'm just ready to get out there now.
Are you sitting at the hotel in quarantine?
No. This is at my house.
Okay. Because last time we spoke, you were in quarantine.
Yeah, we're going into quarantine on Wednesday. So we're going. I think we're going to the hotel on Wednesday, and then we're flying next Friday.
All right. Now, like you said, you had some injuries. Could you delve into that a little bit and the situation behind that?
Yeah. So before my debut, I had quite bad bursitis in my knee. And I guess it doesn't really help that I've already dislocated it twice. And then next thing you know, I was doing normal training. Everything went fine. I must have banged it one day or whatever. And literally, I just woke up one morning. It was like magic. Just poof. It just blew up massive, filled with sweating. It so annoying. And it was literally just so close to the fight. But because I was just so I was so well prepared. I'd done so much hard work. I was like, I'm just going to try and manage this as well as I could. Luckily, I had a really good physio. Shout out to Leanne from Distinct Physiotherapy. She smashed it in terms of just literally answering me straight away, always throwing curveballs at her. We managed to just try and deal with it as best we could until the fight. It was still quite puffy on the day of the fight, but you have to overcome adversity in this game. So that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, you definitely did. You went in there and had a spectacular performance, man. Dominant performance. Coming out of that fight, were there any aspects you felt you needed to work on, or something that you needed to add to your training schedule that you didn't have before?
Not necessarily from that fight in particular. There was sort of areas that I knew I wanted to work on anyways, regardless of the fight, which I've now went straight into in my training, and I've definitely improved upon. My movement would have been a little bit sharper had, I'm not, getting any excuses, for my knee and stuff like that. But I felt like maybe I perhaps would have moved a little bit better without knowing that, I couldn't really get kicked in that leg. So, but, fair play to my opponent. He's also a very tough competitor. When the opponent switched sort of last minute and became even tougher, I'm not going to lie, it actually made me a little bit more excited as well, because I'm like, okay, I've got a better opponent. But then, with my legs sort of blowing up like that, it's just like, oh my gosh, why did this have to happen? Especially for an opponent like that who's stepping up. So, but yeah, man, I've just been trying to round out every area of my game and just trying to mix it up as possible. Mixed martial arts, you've got to be able to do everything to a good standard and just be able to put it all together. And that's what I've been working on since that fight.
So with the knee, how long did it take for you to kind of get that back to as close as 100%?
It was weird because I obviously got kicked a couple of times in the leg in that fight. It's almost like it woke my body up. It was healing very slowly whenever it first happened, and when I went to Fight Island and stuff like that. And then as soon as I got kicked there, a couple of good times, it went away within 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, bloody hell, this is do you know what I mean? Honestly, within the next week, I was able to start running, go back to train, everything normal, even put my knees on the floor. So it's a bit weird how the body works. Literally just give it a couple of smacks and then it'll get right back up into gear.
Yeah, well, it's almost like, when you turn on the TV and it's kind of fuzzy, and a long time ago they would just smack the TV and it clears up, right? Kind of like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. The mum Wendy definitely felt like that. It sort of became rejuvenated after that.
That's good to hear, man. Well, 3-month turnaround, you go from the prelims to the main card, and now you're facing an opponent. I believe he was ranked not too long ago, around 15 or 14. Now he's on the on the edge of the rankings. Is this what you expected in your second fight with the UFC?
I wouldn't say that I necessarily expected it. I was just ready for whatever they were going to throw at me. And Jimmy Crute being a very, very tough competitor. He's very, very well skilled, all rounded. I believe he had a hard time finding matchups for fights. From what I've been told, he had like 3 guys or a couple of guys from the top 15 who also turned him down. And obviously I can see why, because he's a guy where he's very good, and it's like you don't want to lose any fights now at this point and stuff like that. But so for me, I was sort of thinking I'll be able to sort of work my way a little bit up the ladder. But as soon as they gave me that name, I'm like, listen, he's tough, he's very skilled, he's very good, but I know I can beat him. So me and my manager, we sat down as soon as he gave me that name, and I was like straight away, yeah, I'll go, because I was ready to fight. It doesn't matter who it was, really. So it just ended up happening that. And look, at this point, you got to be confident, you got to believe in yourself that you're going to go in there and beat anyone. Doesn't matter who it is. You're in the UFC, you're fighting the best in the world. You're going to have to fight these guys at some point. You can't duck them, you can't dodge them. You've got to go straight through them. So and that's exactly what I'm looking to do. So I was just really excited when I heard that name, because it just gives me more of a challenge, more like it just gives me more motivation and inspiration to work harder, to get things cleaned up. And you beat a guy like that, you straight into the top 20. So, what more could you ask for?
Definitely, you're talking about getting a challenge, and, instead of moving laterally, you're moving, vertically, which is much better than a lot of guys. A lot of guys will get their first fight in and they'll fight another guy that's kind of similar in their standing in the division, but you get this opportunity. It's good to see, and it seems like you've been ready for it the whole time.
Oh yeah, mate. Like I said, there's a lot of skill sets that people aren't sure about. This is why I'm taking this fight. It's not because, I've got a big opportunity, I'm just going to go in there blindly. I'm taking it because I feel I can beat it, and I know I'm going to win it. Like there's skill sets I haven't even shown yet, and people don't even know. They think that they're going to run straight through me, or they think that what they've seen in my previous fights. Don't worry, I've got a hell of a lot of surprises coming up. Whenever I go and fight next, the things that what I looked like in my fights previously, I've improved a hell of a lot since then, and I know he has as well. This is the thing; it's not like we're staying stagnant. We're both young in this game. We're both hungry lions trying to get some feed. You know what I mean? So. For me, I feel every fight I'm stepping up big time, and this is another fight that I'm going to show that I've stepped up big time.
With Crute, he's 4 fights deep into his UFC career, so there's much more tape of his UFC fights. Probably see the holes you're confident in when you're going into this fight. But is there anything unique about Crute that you see?
The thing that's unique is that he's the most well-rounded fighter that I've come across. All the other guys seem to have a strength that's quite gleaming and shining in their game, whereas his, it seems like he's very all-rounded. He can strike, he can wrestle, and he's good on the ground. So that's the only sort of, I guess, unique fit. I've struggled to find guys who have sort of kicking techniques like me at my weight class, and he definitely brings a little bit of that. But again, there's way to overcome certain things, certain techniques that someone throws, and the way that they do things. But look, as well, you watch tape, they could bring in something completely different. So we're ready for particular tendencies that he may have. But at the same time, if he decides to switch up, we're going to adapt quickly in the fight and be able to pressurize and do our thing.
In the UK, has the government pulled back on some of the restrictions, or has it gotten tighter since your last training camp?
They pulled back on some of the restrictions. They're starting to try and make things a bit stricter now, like introducing certain rules and stuff. But it's nothing that's really affecting my training at all. I've just taken my own particular precautions by and again, it's lucky that I have a gym at my own house. Turning it from like a flimsy summer house to now a fully purposed gym in my back garden. I don't know if the neighbors are too happy, but anyways, do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I'll bring my training partners and we can train. So and they've all decided, they're all getting tests done. The only bad thing is that obviously there's not as many COVID tests available, so it makes it a little bit harder to sort of, to be able to track that and control that. But I know my training partners are cool. I told them, obviously they care about me and they want me to do well. So if they don't feel good, they'll stay home. But it's the same with anyone. If someone doesn't feel good, they're going to stay home. It's just general how you should be. Do you know what I mean? Just general behaviour, what you should do in this sort of situation. So yeah, I've just been grateful that I've got my own training facility, so they can come to me. We can still train, and in some cases, sometimes the training becomes even better because now it's just more fully focused and fine tuned as opposed to in a class setting where things go on a little bit longer. So I mean, I'm pretty sure things are probably going to get a little bit stricter, even as time goes on. Just it seems as though the cases in the world have started to go up and stuff, but it hasn't affected me so far. So yeah, it's working well.
Yeah, recently I spoke to Scott Askham, and he actually left and went to Germany for his training camp for his upcoming fight.
Oh.
And a couple other guys that I spoke in the UK, yeah, they've left, but other guys, they've stayed, and have adjusted to or adapted to the restrictions or regulations. So I guess it all depends on what you want to do and what you want to sacrifice and how you want to do the camp too.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, if I couldn't get the necessary training that I needed and stuff like that, then of course I'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably have to go elsewhere in order to get my training. But like I say, I've just been very fortunate that I have guys that really want me to get better and really care about me, and that they're willing to, some of them, to travel quite far just to come to my house and train and stuff like that. So and it's good that really this whole camp, everything's even in the certain places that I went to, there was a bit less people anyways, even when you're going in sort of just a normal class setting and stuff like that. But things have been a lot more specific to me. As you know, this is a very selfish sport. But I've just been very, very fortunate and grateful to have those type of guys around me that are literally working around my particular things. But it also helps with their particular parts of their game as well, even like the jiu-jitsu guys or the wrestler guys. So it's all hand in hand, a very good little operation we got going on.
Well, last time you predicted a second round finish, but you got it done in the first. What do you see in this clash with Crute?
I also see a second round finish. I feel that it will be a bit more hard fought in this fight. He's definitely going to want to engage more. I'm going to want to engage more now because I have no, fingers crossed, obviously, but I've got no, injuries leading up to the fight. I feel fresh. I feel ready. My training's gone absolutely amazing. So I expect it to be a little bit of a back and forth probably in the first round. But at the same time, that's what I'm going to be figuring out and landing those extra shots and maybe stopping his takedowns and stuff like that. And then going into the second round, that's when I'm going to look to put him away. He's a very tough competitor, and like I say, he brings a hell of a lot to the table, and it's definitely going to be my toughest fight. But I still do 100% believe that I'm better than him. And if you want to be the best in the world, you got to run through the best guys in the world, and that's exactly what I'm set to do on October 17th.
No doubt. Now let's rewind to UFC 253. The light heavyweight title was up for grabs. Jan Blachowicz goes in there, completely dominates Dominic Reyes, knocks him out. Another European champ on the roster. Did that play out how you expected?
I actually had Blachowicz winning. Everyone asked me who I predicted would win the fight, and I said, listen, I'm telling you, that guy's got some power in his hands, and he's sort of very unpredictable with his movements and stuff like that, and he's beat some very top guys. If he lands out one shot, I thought Reyes would move a little bit better than what he did, but it ended up being that, not to say that Reyes didn't move well, but Jan Blachowicz just moved even better, and then he was able to catch and land his shots, and Reyes was a little bit hesitant. So, mate, I was so happy that he won. I was so happy to have a European light heavyweight champion. It was just a testament to hard work and dedication, and going from 2-4 at the beginning of his UFC career to 8-1 and winning the title. It's just an amazing story, and it really relates to me. At the beginning of my career, I had a bit of a rocky start, and now I'm starting to go on this win streak. So yeah, man, and he's just a lovely fella. I mean, you hear the way he talks in interviews and stuff like that. I mean, how could you not like the guy? So yeah, I actually had him winning just because of that unpredictability, and he just brings other things to the table. So it was a great fight.
It just shows you how much timing plays a role in someone winning a title and opportunities that come to them. And of course, Blachowicz is, bar none, one of the best in the world. He's the champ now. But when you look at it, everybody thought Gustafsson would have been the first UFC light heavyweight champ, out of Europe, but he just never could get it done. You know what I mean? 2 fights, Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier. He got so close, but just couldn't, get over the hump.
Yeah. There was just something that he just couldn't figure out, and I felt bad because then even when he moved up to heavyweight to face Verdum, he didn't have a good showing there. But who knows? Like, maybe he got to a certain level, and then just the guys that he's facing are just that high level that they're just too much for him in terms of the game and their IQ and stuff like that. Whereas he can beat most of the guys that are the best in the world, but he just can't tip the scale, in his favor. But obviously credit to Gustafsson, he's an absolutely amazing fighter. So he's done a hell of a lot in his career. I mean, the fact that he didn't win a world title means nothing because he's had a sensational career leading up to this point.
Yeah, definitely a legend. Now, Jan, after that fight, he comes out and he does what I love. And he calls out Jon Jones immediately. What do you think? Jon Jones comes back and fights Jan?
I would like to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's very set in his ways about the heavyweight division. But I mean, then now you've got Izzy talking a load of stuff to him on Twitter. They've been going back and forth for the last couple of days. Obviously, Adesanya have a lot more time on his hands having to quarantine, so I guess he's having fun with it. But I think actually the fact that Izzy's sort of coming in there and having conversations and this whole 2021 thing, maybe it will force Jones to want to come back. But then I saw another post that he said, "Oh no, I'm getting ready for the heavyweight division and this and that." So it's like, I don't know. I think he's quite set. I mean, you see him doing a lot of weightlifting and stuff like that. He's trying to get his weight up. So. Who knows, man? Whatever choice he makes, obviously, it will mark like sort of like the sort of end, the last bit of the final hurrah in his career. Whatever he chooses, obviously, I wish him the best. But yeah, of course, I would love to see that fight because I swear, if Leanne lands a shot, that's where it's not going to be a good day for no one. So I would definitely love to see that fight.
Definitely. Well, man, you're back in action October 17th, UFC Fight Island. Thank you so much, man, for the time. Good luck on the fight. All the best to you. And hopefully, maybe you might be back in action before the end of the year.
100%. Hey, I've written on my board. I'm looking to try and get another turnaround after this. Obviously, we're looking to each fight as it comes. I'm looking into go and win this fight convincingly and go and smash it. But yeah, obviously, I'm just looking forward to things coming ahead. And yeah, I just can't wait for October 17th. Thank you so much again for having me, mate. Like, honestly, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP Post Fight for all your weekly martial arts news.